She was chained and bleeding. Then the beast that loved her burned the world down. The Zephyrian interrogation chamber reeked of ozone and fear. Commander Sarah Chun hung from electromagnetic shackles, her uniform torn and bloodied, azure energy. Burns marking her pale skin like cruel tattoos. The alien captors had been thorough in their work, extracting every scrap of information about human military installations across the Outer Rim. She had given them nothing. "The human refuses to break," hissed General Vextar, his four eyes gleaming with frustration. The Zephyrian's chitinous exoskeleton clicked as he paced before her suspended form. "Perhaps we should broadcast her execution across human space. Let them see what happens to those who resist the hegemony." Sarah lifted her head with effort, spitting blood onto the metallic floor. "Go ahead. You'll only make them angrier." The alien's mandibles clacked in what passed for laughter. "Angry? Your species' emotional volatility is precisely why you're unfit for galactic civilization. The hegemony will bring order to your chaotic worlds." Through the chamber's viewport, Sarah could see the Zephyrian fleet in formation, thousands of warships ready to descend upon Earth and her colonies. Humanity's first contact had been their last act of freedom, and now the superior alien force prepared to chain her entire species. But the aliens didn't understand humans. They saw only primitive bipeds with crude technology and laughable lifespans. They had studied human physiology, human history, human weaknesses. They had not studied Marcus Kane. 3 sectors away, aboard the research vessel Prometheus, Dr. Marcus Kane felt Sarah's pain as if it were his own. The neural link they shared, an experimental technology designed for deep space exploration, carried more than just tactical data. It carried love, fear, and now something far more dangerous. Rage. Marcus stood in the ship's laboratory, his hands trembling as he stared at the prototype weapon he'd spent years developing. The quantum singularity generator was meant to be humanity's last resort against cosmic threats, a device that could weaponize the very fabric of space-time. He had called it theoretical. Now it will become very real. Dr. Kane, Captain Torres, entered the lab, her face grim. "We've received the transmission. Commander Chun's location has been confirmed. The fleet is mobilizing for a rescue operation." Marcus didn't look up from his work. "There won't be time. By the time our ships reach her, she'll be dead, and the hegemony will have begun their invasion. What are you suggesting?" "For the first time in hours," Marcus met her eyes. What she saw there made her step back. The gentle scientist who had spent his career unlocking the universe's secrets was gone. In his place stood something that made her primitive brain scream warnings about apex predators. "I'm suggesting we show them why love is humanity's greatest strength, not our greatest weakness." The Zephyrian fleet hung in perfect formation around their flagship, a monument to their technological superiority. General Vextar prepared to give the order for Sarah's execution when his sensor operator's voice cracked with panic. "General!" Massive energy spike detected. Unknown vessel approaching at impossible velocity. On the main screen, a single human ship materialized from quantum. Foamed the Prometheus, her hull glowing with barely contained energy. She was dwarfed by the alien dreadnoughts surrounding her. A minnow among sharks. Vextar's mandibles clicked with amusement. One ship? Have the humans lost their minds? The communication channel crackled to life. Marcus Kane's voice filled the bridge, cold as the void between stars. "This is Dr. Marcus Kane of the Earth Confederation. You have something that belongs to me. Return Commander Chun, and I'll give you a 10-minute head start. Foolish human. You are outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Surrender, and we may grant you a quick death alongside your mate." Marcus's laugh was a sound that made even battle-hardened Zephyrian warriors shiver. "You don't understand. You've made this personal. And when humans get personal, we stop thinking like civilized beings. We remember what we really are." Sarah heard the exchange through the chamber speakers and felt her heart skip. The neural link blazed with Marcus's presence, not the gentle scholar she knew, but something primal and terrifying. Something that had existed long before humans learned to build cities or write poetry. Something that loved her enough to burn. The galaxy. Marcus, no, she whispered, knowing he could feel her through their connection. Don't do this. Don't become a monster for me. His response came not due to come, but directly into her mind through their link. For you, Sarah, I would become the devil himself. The Prometheus began to glow brighter, her hull singing with harmonics that made reality itself seem to shiver. Marcus stood in the ship's core, his hands dancing over controls that no sane person would dare touch. The quantum singularity generator was never meant to be used at this scale, never meant to be weaponized in this manner, but love had made him insane. General! The Zephyrian sensor operator screamed. He's creating a cascade collapse. He's going. The universe hiccup PED dot spacetime folded like origami in the hands of an angry god. The first wave of Zephyrian ships simply ceased to exist, erased from reality as the quantum field Marcus had generated rewrote the fundamental laws of physics in a sphere expanding at light speed. General, Vexstar watched his fleet disappear not. Destroyed, not blown apart, but simply deleted from existence as if they had never been. The flagship shield screamed warnings as the edge of the effect approached. Impossible, he shrieked. This level of technology, no species should possess such power. Marcus's voice echoed through the dying ship. We don't possess it, General. We became it. That's what you never understood about humans. Push us far. Enough take something we love, and we'll tear the universe apart to get it back. The effect reached the flagship. In the interrogation chamber, Sarah watched the walls begin to dissolve as reality itself unwrote the ship around her. But she felt no fear, only the overwhelming presence of Marcus's love protecting her. A bubble of normal spacetime keeping her safe while the universe burned. When the cascade finally stopped, only 2 ships remained in the void where the Zephyrian fleet had been, the Prometheus and the small section of the flagship containing Sarah's chamber. Marcus had carved her out of the ship with surgical precision, leaving everything else to the hungry singularity dot as the rescue pods brought her aboard. Sarah saw what the effort had cost him. His hair had gone white, his face aged a decade in minutes, and his eyes held depths that spoke of staring too long into the fundamental forces of creation dot. But when he held her, when he whispered her name like a prayer, she knew that the gentle man she loved was still there, buried perhaps, but not lost. The hegemony will send more fleets, she said quietly. Marcus smiled and Sarah shivered at what she saw there. Let them come. They wanted to see what humans are capable of when pushed. Now they know. He turned to the viewport where emergency broadcasts were already carrying news of the Zephyrian fleet's fate across the galaxy. They'll tell this story for 1,000 years. How humanity's first act on the galactic stage was to make physics itself a weapon. How love turned the scientists into something that could delete fleets from existence. Sarah pressed closer to him, feeling the terrible power that still radiated from his being. And what happens now? Now? Marcus's smile was gentle again, but his eyes remained those of someone who had held the power of gods. Now they learn why you never ever hurt someone a human loves. Because we don't just fight back. He gestured to the empty space where 1,000 ships had once been. We rewrite reality until justice is served. The Prometheus turned toward home, carrying 2 humans who had just announced to the galaxy that Earth's children were not to be trifled with. Behind them, space itself still bore scars from a love that had literally moved heaven and earth. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and the cosmos would never be the same.